I thought the meeting went fantastic. It was exactly what we were looking for, a question and answer session with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. They were gracious with their time. Many of the members, pretty much almost all of them, lined up at 3 mics and went through the process of expressing their concerns, their frustrations, also talking about bills that they have sponsored and their ideas of how we can truly tackle this massive deficit, cut spending, and lower inflation.
What was the #1 concern?
This is the news of the day. Elon Musk and Vivek holding a secret meeting on Capitol Hill to talk about the DOGE initiative to dismantle part of the federal government to cut costs, waste, and fraud. So let's hear Marjorie Taylor Greene on the meeting, what she has to say about that.
Expressed in there.
The biggest concern is our debt. And as a country, it doesn't matter where you fall on the political divide. This debt is going to crush every single one of us. And to quote Elon, he said something extremely important. Every single payment that the federal government pays out, we need to be checking those payments to see if they're legitimate. And that's something that hasn't been done. I don't know if it's ever been done. There's a massive amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that we have to tackle, and I will be doing that with my subcommittee, and I am looking forward to exposing every single unelected bureaucrat, every single agency that is wasting the American people's money, and the big government departments that need to be exposed for how they're not serving the American people.
Was there a call to
Wow, that sounds great, honestly. We will see.
We didn't mention an exact number. All we talked about was cutting spending. Elon and Vivek talked about having a naughty list and a nice list for members of Congress and senators and how we vote and how we're spending the American people's money. I think that would be fantastic. But one thing is for sure, if we can cut spending, we'll be lowering inflation, and that'll be good for everyone.
When do you start work on your
Yeah, I
subcommittee?
think cutting spending and making sure there's no fraud anymore
Well,
would be top priority.
as we all know, the next Congress will convene on January 3rd. It'll take a few weeks to do the order of business, setting up committees and subcommittees, and then we'll be getting ready to roll towards the end of January.
Did Musk say that he would expose and shame Republicans for not cutting spending? I know that Chip Roy said that he had proposed that and Musk had agreed with him. Did he agree with him? Or
Elon said that there will be, he said, a good list and a naughty list. They also have great ideas that they'll be working on with DOGE. Now, this will be separate from Congress. They're talking about communicating with the American people, perhaps maybe even a weekly podcast or a report, so to speak. They want to bring in members of Congress and senators and let the American people hear from them about their ideas and the programs that they're trying to work on, bills they're trying to pass. But the biggest, most important thing that Elon wants to bring forward for the American people is information. His big concern that he talked about today is how many Americans don't even know that we have a deficit or a debt of $36 trillion. And he feels like if we can educate the American people, getting the American people on board, it puts the right pressure where it belongs on the House and the Senate to do this job correctly.
I think that's a great idea, honestly. The American people should be informed about what's going on exactly behind closed doors. They should know exactly what is going on, what the numbers are and what they aim to do and what the expected result will be. And so the American can put pressure on the elected bureaucrats, on the people in the House and the Senate and in Congress to make sure that everyone goes smoothly and that the government get reformed and get more efficient at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's watch the report from Sky News about Elon Musk bringing in sound.
Mr. Musk, private meeting.
You went over people who say DOGE doesn't have any power. You think you can still cut $2 trillion from the government?
He doesn't want to talk to the media apparently after the meeting. He's probably busy going back to his family life, or maybe he has some meeting to go to.
Right behind you. Just you see right there. Are you able to track? So he just entered.
This is the Capitol Hill, where the first DOGE meeting was held on Thursday.
Let's go.
And Vivek, Elon and Vivek are heading the DOGE. They visited Capitol Hill on Thursday with his son. They will head the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE, and they met with legislators behind closed doors. Mike Johnston spoke about Musk and Ramaswamy's appearance, marking their visit the beginning of a journey. So let's hear what he has to say about that.
What? We're all excited. I know you're all excited that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have joined us today. This is an important day. It's the beginning of a journey. You've heard what DOGE is all about, the Department of Government Efficiency. It's a new thing, and this is a new day in Washington and a new day in America. We have long lamented the size and scope of the government, that it has grown too large. And let me be frank about this. Government is too big, it does too many things, and it does almost nothing well. And the taxpayers deserve better. They deserve a more responsive government, a more efficient government, one that is leaner and more focused on its primary objectives. And that's the opportunity that we have here now. We believe it's an historic moment for the country, and these two gentlemen are going to help navigate through this exciting new day. It is the first, again, as I said, of a long series of meetings that will be held as we're laying the groundwork for the new year and the new Congress. And you're going to see a lot of change around here and in Washington and the way things are run. We need to make government more efficient. And
that sounds great, honestly. Hopefully, we will keep tab on this, on what's going on the change they are planning to make, and we will hear about it over the next coming week, starting in January, probably.
that is what this whole objective is. It's what the DOGE effort will be about. And you're going to see a bicameral cooperation, and it will be, by the way, bipartisan. What you're going to see here, the overriding theme here, is a return to common sense and a return to accountability and efficiency in government. I think that's going to serve the people well. There'll be a lot more to tell you all in the days ahead. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here.
Very nice, very nice. Making the government more efficient, eliminating waste and fraud, and hopefully corruption in the long run. That sounds great to me. We will see if it's works.
Pennsylvania Congressman and member of the new House DOGE caucus, Dan Muser, joins me now. Congressman, Zoe Lofgren, you may have heard it, she says DOGE is unconstitutional. Says you can't impound funds that Congress has appropriated. Is she right?
Well, what she's doing is, Stuart, she's fighting for the swamp, right? Here, the Democrats, before the election, were fighting against closing the border. Now they're fighting against us bringing efficiencies to the government. Look, our federal government, my fellow Americans, we're becoming not a democracy, but a bureaucracy. And that's going to change. We have a plan. We have President Trump in the White House. We have a very willing Congress. And this is going to be a reckoning for limited government.
Well, you're on the DOGE House caucus. What's your top priority?
Well, what the American people are seeing right now is this outrageousness that 6% or is it 1% of federal employees are showing up for work. You know, under the Trump administration, it was 97%, you know, prior to COVID, and they never came back. So there's almost 8,000 federal buildings left vacant. So that's going to be step one. And I'll tell you what, if a lot of those people don't want to come back, the federal government is bloated. Everybody knows that. The American people know that. That'll save $350 billion over a 10-year period right there. But there's contracting that hasn't been reviewed. Stuart, I was with Vivek and Elon yesterday for over an hour and a half, and there were so many ideas. It got to the point we were laughing. We were shaking our heads. We just couldn't believe what was being dug up, what was being wasted. And it's about time. DOGE could not have come soon enough. And we're all going to dig in, and we're going to have great pro-growth economic policies, but we're also going to reduce the size and waste and fraud and abuse in our government.
I'm all for it.
That sounds great to me. Reducing waste, fraud, abuse, and if they can manage to reduce corruption as well, that would be great. First of all, they have to make the government more efficient, and that's a great priority to have, in my opinion.
But I have to get back to my original question. Can you impound funds that Congress has appropriated?
Well, look, first of all, it's an advisory committee, right? So they're going to point out to the secretaries in the president's cabinet and to the president, of course, what they recommend. Congress is going to review it. If we need legislation in order to execute on those plans, we will do so. Like, for instance, there's something known as the Overpayment and Reconciliation Bill of 2010. I'm going to modernize that bill, which will force agencies, require them, when there's overpayments made, meaning waste, abuse, and fraud, it needs to be reported and it needs to be focused on to be recovered. That alone could be between $150 and $200 billion. Like I said, this couldn't come any time sooner.
You're talking real money here. Congressman Dan Music, thanks for, yeah, really. Thank you, Congressman. We'll see you again real soon. Pennsylvania, Congressman.
So it is an advisory committee and not an executive branch of the government, right? It only makes advice and point to the Congress to make the decision and pass the different laws that are necessary to make the government more efficient. We will see if they are able to do it, if they can pass the right laws and the right policies to make everything work smoothly. All right. I think that was a great video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it with me. Thanks for watching and staying with me to the end. Click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye-bye.